My name is David Frohme, and I am a Special Olympics athlete, and I've been doing Special Olympics since 1978, but I just want to talk about Special Olympics in 1995. In 1995, the year of 1995, I did winter sports. I did snowshoeing during the winter sports, and then I did track and field. And I remember that year when we had our track and field meet at ASU. It was at Sun Angel Stadium. Back in those years, I remember the big part of those games, and they had a big Olympic village back in those days. So the best part about us taking our break from the action and running track and field is we went to the Olympic village and we looked at the games, and we were shooting basketballs and shooting for different prizes. And I remember the Best Buy tent where they would take our pictures, and then they would get them developed for us in about a couple of hours. When we'd go back to that tent, we'd be picking up the pictures. And I remember the good times back in that year. That was the year I began swimming. I started to be on the swim team in the fall, and in our swim team we did real good too. We had like at least 25 athletes in my delegation, and we would go down to Surprise, Arizona for our state meet, for our state swim meet, and it was a lot of fun. But we had our area meet up in Flagstaff, and swimming at that high altitude was hard. But you know what? We did it though. We didn't let it affect us. We just practiced for it and all that, and so we did swimming, and so that was a real good year. That was like 5 years after that is when I went no, I take it back. Actually, 4 years is when I went to the World Games in North Carolina in 1999.
1995 was about 28 years ago.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but how time flies. It's just amazing.
What relates to Special Olympics, cool runnings from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's based on a bobsled team that relates to Special Olympics.
Yeah, it does.
What do you remember from Special Olympics back in 91?
I can't remember that far. But it was a good year though.
Do you remember the Special Olympics back in 96?
Yes, it was basically about the same as 95.
Special Olympics back in the 90s was a lot different versus in today's society. Do you agree?
I agree. It was huge back in those years. But when COVID hit in the 2020s, it really slowed everything down when COVID hit.
Yes, you can join Special Olympics. One, you probably have to have the right type of disability.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I agree. You have to have the right kind of disability. But you know what? You can turn a disability into an ability.
So what type of sports did you play back in 95 to 99?
Let's see. It was snowshoeing, which was winter sports, up in Flagstaff, and then we did And then it was track and field in the spring and early summer, and then it was swimming in the late summer and fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you join a swim team back then?
Yeah. It was 95 when I first started on the swim team.
See, back in 95, it depending on how many people participate in Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Like they would say, okay, maybe we could use everyone. Because one, if you want to do that, you have to find the right one that has high functioning or really tall or depending on what the person is.
Yeah.